Welcome back to Dyknow's Tech Coach Corner YouTube series. I'm Tiara, your host, and today we're joined by Chris Woods to talk about using social media and how to grow your audience and share information that you're passionate about. Before we jump in, just want to remind everyone to please subscribe to Dyknow's YouTube channel. Go ahead, follow us on all of our other social media channels. And we actually just announced our 2020 Progressive Learning Conference, which Chris Woods will be presenting at. So go ahead and register for that using the link in the description of this video. We'd love to have you join us for a full week of learning about how to really maximize progressive learning styles in your district when you go back to school in the fall, if you're not already back already. I think that's all I have to plug today, so let's jump into our conversation. Welcome back to Tech Coach Corner, everyone. I'm Tiara Lustig, your host, and today I'm joined by Chris Woods. Chris, do you want to give a quick introduction to yourself before we get started?
Yeah, thanks again for having me, Tiara. I'm Chris Woods. I'm a high school math teacher, and not only do I teach math, I love getting kids excited about STEM. And especially I love sharing ideas that other educators can use to get their kids interested about STEM. So I do those through my website, dailystem.com, and Daily STEM on social media, and the STEM Everyday podcast. So yeah, I love getting kids excited about STEM and how it interacts with their world.
Wonderful. Yeah, and we did a great episode with you on what STEM looks like in the classroom, both on the Tackling Tech podcast and on Tech Coach Corner before. One thing I've noticed about you as a digital marketer is how you've been able to grow such a large audience and a very engaged audience by sharing all of your STEM resources. Could you talk a little bit about how you have grown your social audience and kind of created that STEM PLN through social? I think it's something that a lot of educators are trying to do and could use some pro tips on.
Well, thank you for saying that they'd be pro tips coming from me. I don't feel like a pro. I don't feel like a, educational superstar because, and I hate to use this phrase, but I'm just a teacher. And again, there's never just a teacher. We are all teachers. We are rock stars. We're doing incredible things with our kids in our classroom every day. And I think that's kind of how I started and why I started sharing stuff on social media, and it really for me just started with, I'm just going to sign up for all the different, I found an easy to use handle. So I found Daily STEM because for me, daily is what I believe about STEM should be, and STEM because it should be STEM. And so I checked for something, and if you are an educator and you want to start sharing some ideas, or anybody, find a handle, a website, a phrase that isn't already being used. So I quickly signed up for them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the website, all those different things. So I got all those. Now the matter is using them. And so that next step was I'm just going to start sharing ideas. And I didn't start out with thousands of followers. I started out with just, the first couple. And so I start sharing some things with some hashtags, and I start just clicking on people to follow and learn from. But the big thing that I think really grows your audience isn't trying to grow an audience, but just saying, what is it that my audience really needs? What do I feel that I can share with others that can be of value? So for me as a teacher, I was sharing great things with my students in my classroom. So I just started sharing those things out there, and I'd tag them with hashtag STEM or hashtag Makerspace or anything that I thought STEAM, using that acronym as well, especially when it was a more artistic aspect. And then I just started following things. I followed people. I every time somebody shared something of mine, I'd make sure I responded. I'd reply to whatever they said, and you start to build those relationships with people. You start to make those connections. You hop into some Twitter chats if you like Twitter. If you're an educator, Twitter is really an ideal place because you have that back and forth connection. Facebook is great. Instagram is great for, they all have their benefits. Find the platform that you're really comfortable and confident with, and just say, what do I have that other people can use? And a lot of times I'll finish off a statement or whatever, and I'll say, I'm always happy to help. I'm always glad to help. I'm always here to help because I think that's how we are as teachers naturally. We help our kids. We're willing to help the teacher down the hall or that teacher miles and miles away that we're just connecting with through a phone or, social media.
Yeah, I think that's a great mindset to have about social media. We had a conversation with Bruce Reicher on the Tackling Tech podcast, and he said basically the same thing. Educators the beauty of being an educator is you want to share with others and others want to learn from you. So just sharing information without really expecting anything in return is one of the most effective ways to grow your following, because you gain that trust and that engagement with people, and they see you as that reliable source for information in your specific topic or industry.
Right. And for me, I always feel like, and I say this often, that Twitter is, to me, like the best teacher's lounge I could ever have, I could ever ask for, because there's always somebody there I can ask a question of, and there's always people there that are sharing ideas.
Definitely, definitely. Well, we would love to continue engaging with you on social and on all of your channels. Will you tell everyone where they can find you so that they can keep learning from you?
All right. So just like I said, and just like if you're going to try this on your own, educators, or really want to try to build that quote unquote brand, not that I'm all about brands or anything, but just head to Daily STEM on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, especially on Twitter. I spend a lot more time on there. And again, also dailystem.com. That's where I share a whole bunch more resources. And again, just all about trying to make things better for more educators out there. If I only just kept all the ideas to myself, that's kind of selfish. There's plenty of other educators that may not feel so confident with mathy or sciencey, engineering, technology kind of stuff. So
wonderful. Well, we hope people will engage with you and learn from you to grow their social PLNs. Thank you so much for being with us today, Chris, to talk about social media.
No problem. Always glad to help, Tiara.